There's some bad news and there is some good news. First of all, the good news. Hearts are looking to appoint a new manager and his name is not Craig Levein. But the bad news is we are still looking to appoint a new manager and we actually don't know his name. We can't even pronounce his name. Welcome back, guys, to Son of Scotland TV. And the man that Hearts are looking at, the number one target for Hearts at the moment, is a man by the name of Marti Cifuentes, Marti Cifuentes, and he is the current manager of Swedish side Hammarby. Now, I said at the start I didn't know who this guy was, and that might be stretching the truth a little bit because I actually heard this name a few months ago, and that was because his name was getting floated about for the Aberdeen job. Now, Aberdeen, as we know, decided not to go with this Marti Cifuentes guy. They decided to go with the cheap option, the boring option, the safe option, the shitebag option. They went with Barry Robson. And no disrespect to Barry Robson, and certainly no disrespect to Stephen Naismith, but I do not want to see us go down that route. In my opinion, that is simply the safe option. Oh, let's just give the caretaker manager the job because he picked up some wins. I'm not saying Barry Robson didn't do a good job for Aberdeen. I personally don't see him taking Aberdeen forward. I actually see Aberdeen going backwards next year, and it could be the same for Stephen Naismith. Look, there was a couple of games he came in at the end of the season and we looked good. I'm not denying that. There was a couple of games where we didn't look so good. But I just don't think, for where we want to go, I don't think Stephen Naismith is the guy to take us there. For me as a Hearts fan, I know we're not going to win the league anytime soon. I understand that. I accept that. I'm okay with that. What I do want, though, as a Hearts fan, I want to be competing for third every single season. And I think most seasons we should be getting third. I genuinely believe that we are a bit above Aberdeen and Hibs. I do think that. I think we should be looking to get third, and the more often you come third, especially with this guaranteed group stage football, you should be stretching the gap between ourselves and the fourth place team and the fifth place team. That's why I thought it was really important that we got back-to-back third places, but that didn't happen, and now next season it's going to be Aberdeen that get the guaranteed money that comes with the Europa group stage. So I just thought it was poor. I think we should have been looking to get that back-to-back, and then as soon as you get a couple of seasons with that money, you can definitely see a difference, and we can try and, instead of having the three teams behind the old firm, you have Hearts, Hibs and Aberdeen neck and neck. We could have looked to distance ourselves from the other two. So, that's what I want to see going forward. I want us to establish ourselves as the clear third best team in the country. I want to be winning trophies. I know we're not going to win the league, but every season, Hearts should be aiming to win the Scottish Cup and League Cup. Why can't it be done? We're playing in a country where we believe we're the third best team. The third best team should be able to win cups. We should be able, in a one-off game, to beat Celtic, to beat Rangers. We should be able to lift silverware. I'm not saying, I expect us to win a cup every season, but I expect to be trying to win a cup. I think the ambition, the focus, the goal in the Scottish Cup every year should be to win it, and the same with the League Cup. And as for the league, I would like to at least see us close the gap. I'm not saying we should be in a title fight. I don't expect that. But what I don't expect is to be finishing, 35 points, 40 points, 45 points, whatever it was, behind Celtic. That is fucking embarrassing, man. So we need to stop that. We need a manager that can help us stop that. And I wonder if Marti Cifuentes could be that guy. Now, he is doing a good job at Hammarby at the moment. He has played 53 games. He's got 29 wins, 12 draws, and 12 losses. Now, keep in mind, that's not fantastic. I'm not saying that he's blown the league away by any means, but he's won more than half the games he's played, and it's not like Hammarby are, the top dog in Sweden. It's not like they're like a giant side in Sweden. They're one of the bigger sides in Sweden. They're one of the better sides probably, but it's not like they're a dominant side. So when you factor in that he's got a 54.72 win percentage with Hammarby, I think that is pretty good. And then if you look back at his previous job, he was with AAB in Denmark for almost a calendar year. And in the 40 games he played there, he won 17, drawn 11 and lost 12 with a win percentage of 42.50. And again, AAB are they're a decent Danish side, but they're not one of the better Danish sides. They're not one of the big Danish sides. And when he left them, I believe he left them 4th or 5th place in the table. So this guy, so far, he's not had a big club yet. He's not really had a big job opportunity. Hearts, in my opinion, are a lot bigger than AAB, and they're bigger than Hammarby. So Hearts would be a step up for this guy. But I like what I see in terms of results. I look at 2 teams that I think he's definitely overperformed with, and that is with AAB and Hammarby. So I'm looking at those results, I'm looking at those win percentages, and they do kind of impress me. Now, Hammarby have said, they've warned Hearts that it will cost money. It's going to be a high compensation fee to get this guy out of his contract. What a high compensation fee is, I'm not entirely sure. But I mean, I just hope we play. I hope we pay it. I want to pay it. This guy was 4th with AAB. He finished 3rd in the table with Hammarby. He seems to know what he's doing. He seems to be a good coach, and Aberdeen fans can say we're signing an Aberdeen reject. No, this would not be an Aberdeen reject. Just because Aberdeen were cheap as fuck, because Aberdeen wouldn't pay the money for a manager and they wanted to just give Barry Robson the job, that doesn't mean we're getting a reject. I would take this guy. I think it's a better route than just appointing a caretaker manager, and I also think it's a better route than just promoting someone for Scottish football. Look, you have to take risks. We could bring this guy in, he could be an absolute dud. I'm not denying that, of course I'm not. But we could bring him in and he could be great. And I think that's what you get when you're hiring these like unknown managers. You're not exactly sure what you're getting, but sometimes you have to risk it if you want to win big. I believe they said that in Dead Rising 3. And we want to win big, so we need to risk it. We could take a safe option. We look at Stephen Robinson, right? He had a good season at St Mirren. We could hire him. It's a safe option. It would be a relatively cheap option, but is that the option we want, really? Stephen Robinson, a guy that had one decent season. Do we want to commit our future to him? And that is no disrespect to Stephen Robinson. He done a good job at St Mirren, but I just don't see him taking Hearts to where we want to go. I don't really see any manager that is in teams below us at the moment taking us to places where we want to go. Some people might say Davy Martindale. Again, he's done a good job at Livy, but I really want to see that style of football at Hearts. Do I think he is good enough to take Hearts to where we want to be? No. So I think we need to go like a foreign route. And look, it doesn't work all the time. It worked for Celtic and Ange Postecoglou. It certainly didn't work for Rangers, though, when they signed that guy. I can't even remember his name. The guy that looked like Barack Obama. You know, it was so... I'm like, I can't even remember his name, but the guy that came in and lost to Progress. So, you know, sometimes you sign a foreign manager, it doesn't always work. But looking at this guy's track record, looking at his history, and looking at his win percentage with, you know, mid-table sort of teams, he's pulling off a lot of victories. So I'd give him the thumbs up, guys. Now, I don't know if we're going to get or not. If there's any more news on contract talks, then I'll keep these updated. But for right now, I'd take a chance on this guy. I would rather sign somebody that I don't know much about than sign a safe option that I do know much about. Like I just said, you know, we could get a guy for Scotland, but that's not really what I want. Even like a Derek McInnes, I think he's done good at Aberdeen, but I think we want better than that. I want. It doesn't really excite me. It's a safe option. I think Derek McInnes would come in and do a good job for Hearts. I'm not denying that, but I want someone who can come in and do a great job, and I think that's what we can get when you hire an unknown guy like Marti Cifuentes. But like I said, it can go one way or it can go the other, but you have to take a chance. You know, we have to at least try. So we'll see what happens, guys. He won Manager of the Month and he's qualified Hammarby for the Europa Conference League. So it's not going to be easy to get him away from Sweden, but I do think the prospect of coming to Scotland, I think the prospect of coming to Hearts, which, like I said, is a bigger club than Hammarby. You're in a league with Celtic and Rangers. You've got more exposure in Scotland. We've seen in the past, if you do well in Scotland, you can move and transition to England. So I do think that Scotland, even though people will criticise the league, make fun of the league, this and that, and call it a Diddy League or whatever, even though it's not, I still think some people are smart enough to look at Duke. He signed up for Aberdeen and he says he signed there because he thought if he performed well, he could get a move to England. And I think that's what maybe a lot of people coming into Scotland will think. So I think it does kind of give us an advantage. So yeah, hopefully we get him. If there's any more updates, guys, I will keep you posted. And that is it. I'll catch you in the next one. Leave a like, leave a comment. And yeah, hopefully we get a manager in soon, because I want us to get into the transfer market. I want us to start making signings. I want us to be ready. I don't want us to be leaving it to the last minute and, starting the season unprepared. So the quicker this happens, guys, the better. I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, though, peace.